Good afternoon, children. Welcome to the class. In the last class, we have finished the lesson number 7. So, today we are going to start the new lesson, that is lesson number 8, Structure and Function of Living Organisms. Under that, we are going to learn about the plants today. So, in the last class, we studied the world of living. Under that, the plants were classified into two bases. That is, the plants were classified on the basis of the flowers. So, when we take up the plants, children, yes, the plants were classified in two types. That is, the flowering plants and non-flowering plants. So what are flowering plants? The plants which bear the flowers or produce flowers in their lifetime, and the plants which doesn't bear the flowers in their lifetime. So this is about the flowering plants and non-flowering plants you have learned in the last class. So now today we are going to learn about the flowering plants. Under that we are going to learn the different parts of the plants, different parts of the flowering plants. Okay, so now we'll move on to the flowering plants. Now when we take up the flowering plants, children, from lower classes you have learnt that when I tell you to draw the plant, so what are the different parts of the plant? I think the different parts of the plant you are going to draw as a root, stem, leaf, flower. Okay, so similarly here you are going to so when we see the structure of the plant, okay, so now here when I draw the plant, yes, here you can observe the root, the stem and the branches, and you will observe a flower and a fruit, the leaves. Okay, so you have learned this different parts. This is the root, stem, leaf, flower, it's not flower, fruit, this is flower, okay, and here this is the branch. So in the lower classes you learned about the different parts of the plant, that is the root, stem, leaf, root, branch, flower. So when we take up the plant, here we can observe a small plant I have taken. When we take up the plant, children, here you can observe this is the root. Here you can clearly see the small branches. This is the root, this is the stem, this is the leaf. Okay, here it doesn't bear any flower. Okay, I did not get it. Okay, so this here we can observe the different parts of the plant. When you draw this, okay, you know the different parts of the plant. So now when we see this plant, we can observe that the part of the plant which grows below the ground, this is the ground level, below the ground, this part of the the part of the plant which grows below the ground, this is called as root system. What we call it as root system. And the part of the plant which grows above the soil, that is the stem, leaf, branch, flower and fruit. Okay, so this part of the plant which grows above the ground level, so this part of the plant we call it as the shoot system. We call it as shoot system. So what is root system, children? Root system is, it consists of only a root. It consists of only a root. So the part of the plant which grows below the soil, it is called as root system, and the part of the plant which grows above the soil is called as shoot system. And here you can observe in the shoot system we can see the different parts. In the shoot system we can observe the stem, the leaf, the fruit and the flower. So these are the different parts in the shoot system. So what is a root system, children? Root system, the part of the plant which grows. Yes, what is a root system? How will you define the root system? The part of the plant that grows below the ground level, that is, it grows under the soil, ground level. Yes, the part of the plant that grows below the ground level is called root system. Is called root system, and this it consists of only the root. It consists of root. So now, yes, and the part of the plant which grows above the soil, the part of the plant which grows above the ground level, above the soil. Okay, the part of the plant that grows above the ground level or above the soil. Okay, yes, this is called as, what is it called, children? It is called as shoot system. And the shoot system, it consists of, what it consists? It consists of mainly stem, leaf, flower and fruit. So these are the parts in the shoot system. I think everything is clear. What is root system and shoot system? Now we'll move on to the further, that is one by one we are going to study. First we are going to study about the root system. After finishing the root system, we'll move on to the shoot system, children. So now we'll move on to the root system. Now, yes, I think everyone know that. What is root system? Now, when you take up the root system, it consists of only the roots. So, from lower classes, you know that the roots, is the roots which grow below the soil. The roots which grow below the soil. Okay, below the ground level. That is, the roots are present in the soil. The roots which are present in the soil, these roots, they are thin thread-like structures. The roots are thin thread-like structures. And what is the function of the roots, children? The function of roots is it absorbs water and minerals from the soil. So now, you know what is root system? The root system, it consists of roots. So now we'll move on to the functions of roots. Yes. So when in order to study the root system, we have to learn about the functions of the roots. So what is the first function? The first function of the roots. Now, the function of the root is it holds the plant to the soil. Okay. So now, when you observe this plant, children, this root, it holds this whole plant. It holds the whole plant to the soil. Understood? I think everyone understood. It holds the plant tightly to, okay. It holds the plant tightly. Yes. So the first function is it holds the plant to the soil. So the soil will be okay. As it holds the plant tightly, when we pluck it, we won't get so easily. We won't get the plant out. So the first function is the root. What it does? It holds the plant. It holds the plant tightly. It holds the plant tightly to the soil. Yes, this is the first function. It holds the plant tightly to the soil. The second function, as you know that the root, it absorbs water. It absorbs water and mineral salts. Okay, minerals from the soil. This is the second function. Now the third function. In some plants what happens? It acts as a storage organ. It acts as a storage organ of food material. Storage organ of food material. So in some plants what happens? It acts as a storage organ of food material. Here you have to clearly understand. Now here you can see in this plant the root is usually the root will be it is thin thread like fiber like structure. Okay. So now what happens in some plants, the root, okay, when we take up this root, yes, the root, it bulges. Now the root is thin. Yes, the root is usually the root is thin thread like. Okay, as in some plants what happens, the root bulges. Okay, the root bulges, and we can observe the as it bulges, it changes its color. It changes its color, it is fleshy and it is soft and it is edible. Edible means we can eat, we can take it as a food. So it changes its color, its texture, it becomes soft and it is edible. And as why it has changed here? Because what happens, we know that in some plants the food that is prepared by the plant, it is stored. The food is stored in this root. When the food is stored in the food is stored here. When the food is stored in the root, what happens? The shape, the color and the texture changes. The shape, the texture and the color of the root changes and it becomes the edible part. It becomes the edible part of the plant. When it becomes the edible part of the plant, what happens? We take it as, okay, we take it as a food in our daily life. So in example here I can give the carrot. The best example, the carrot. The carrot, radish, beetroot. I think everyone have seen the carrot, beetroot, radish. So what you are taking, okay, that carrot is nothing but, okay, it is a root. It has changed the color, it has changed its color, the texture, it has become soft, and we eat the carrot as a we can eat it as a raw one without cooking. The radish also we are going to eat, the beetroot also we are going to eat. So it becomes sweet. It becomes sweet in taste also. Okay, it changes its color, taste, texture, everything. So here, so in some plants what happens, the root, it acts as a storage organ. The carrot is nothing but the root, children, that we are taking it in our daily life. So now we'll move on to the fourth function, that is the root. It acts as a, okay, so now here the root, it binds, acts and it acts like a binding. It binds the soil. Okay, it acts like a it binds the soil. It binds the soil in such a way that, okay, yes, when you take up the below this is the ground. Here when you see the root, children, yes, there is a plant. It binds the soil in such a manner that when you pluck it also we can't get easily the plant out. Okay, and here it binds the soil together. It binds the soil together, and as you know, okay, it as it binds the soil, what happens? So that the soil, this is the soil doesn't get washed away. Soil doesn't get washed away, okay, during the rains or during as the wind blows. Now here you can observe. Now for example, when we take up, I'll give us one example, children. Here there is one land, okay, and here this is a piece of land, this is a piece of land. Here in this land, okay, here we can observe there is no plants or trees, okay. Yes, we call that land as barren land. We call it as barren land where the trees are not present, the plants are not present. Whereas here, this is the fertile land. The fertile land where we can observe the plant, trees. Okay, so here we can observe. Yes, so now here this is a fertile land where the plants and trees are grown. Okay, and here we can observe the plants are not seen, so we call it as barren land. So now when as we get the rain, yes, the rainwater, as we get the rain, what happens? The rainwater, when it falls to this, yes, to this land, what happens? What happens here? Here we can observe that the rainwater washes away the top soil. We call this the soil which is present above the ground level. We call it as the top soil, and the top soil contains the minerals. Okay, the top soil contains all the essential minerals which are required for a plant to grow. Here in this land, what happens, since the tree or the plant has not been grown, okay, and here as the rainwater falls to this ground, the rainwater washes away all the topsoil along with it. The rainwater is moving. As the rainwater is moving, the topsoil also is moving along with it. So here we can observe that the rainwater takes away all the soil along with it, and here year by year, this as it goes on happening, what happens, it becomes the barren land. And here after some years, if we want to grow any plant also, it is not possible because the topsoil has been washed away. So we call this as soil erosion. We call this as soil erosion. That is, erosion of the soil has taken place since years. Why? Because here the land is okay, as the land doesn't contain any plant or any tree, the soil is eroded away, washed away along with the rain water. And here what happens in this area where the plants and trees are being grown, as the rainwater falls to this ground, what happens, the rainwater is being absorbed. Here what happens, the soil which is present in here, the soil is being, okay, the roots, what they are doing, they are not the rainwater doesn't wash away any it doesn't takes away any soil along with it. Here what happens, the roots, it binds the soil so tightly along with it, so that, okay, the water as it falls to this ground, what happens, the roots absorb some of the water, absorbs the water inside the ground, and the remaining water is just being moved to another area. So here what happens, the water is moved to the other area. Here as the roots are present here, the soil is not being eroded. The soil is not being eroded along with the rainwater. So here what happens, the conservation of the soil takes place. Here the soil is being conserved here, protected by these roots, So it prevents soil erosion. The roots, if roots are present in the area, what happens, children, in this area? The plants and trees, if they are present, what happens? The roots, it binds the soil so tightly so that the erosion of the soil doesn't takes place, and this the top soil will not be eroded and it becomes a fertile land, and here we can grow the crops, we can grow the plants, we can grow the trees in this area. So this is the fourth function of the roots. So it acts, it binds the soil in such a way that it binds the soil such a way that so that the soil does not wash away, so that the soil does not wash away along with the rainwater. Yes, so these are the four functions of the root system. Okay, so now we'll move on to the classification of the root system. Now on the basis of the structure of the root, the roots have been classified into two types. Yes, so now we'll move on to the classification of the root system. Now, according to the structure of the root, the root is being classified into two types, children. Now, in the first type of the root system, we can observe that, as we know that there is a seed, as the seed germinates, we can observe the seedling starts growing. As the seedling starts growing, here we can observe the part of the plant which grows towards the soil. This is called as the root, and the part of the seed which starts growing above towards the sun. So this we call it as the shoot. So now when we take up here, what happens, as the seed germinates from the base of the from the base of this seed, we can observe a single root starts growing. A single root starts growing. I think you have studied in fourth standard also. A single root starts growing. As the single root starts growing downwards towards the soil, we call that a single root. We call it as a taproot system. We call it as taproot system. What is taproot system? Fourth standard you have learned. The taproot is as the seed germinates, we can observe a single root. A single root. Here you can observe a single root starts growing from the base of the stem. And here we can observe, here in this plant we can observe a single root starts growing, and here you can observe many small lateral roots starts arising from the main, that is from the single root. And here you can clearly observe, children, clearly observe it. Here a single root starts from the base of the stem. Here base of the stem means this is the base of the stem, and from here the root starts growing, and this is the stem, and here the stem leaf you can observe. So here you can observe that you can observe that small thread like structure starts growing from the base of from the single root. Okay, now this single root, we call this as a single root which starts growing, we call it as primary root. What we call it as primary root. And here the small roots which starts growing from the primary root, here you can observe. Okay, so this is called as secondary root. And from the secondary root you can observe a small root hairs, thin root hair starts growing from the secondary root. We call it as tertiary root. We call it as the tertiary root. So here a single root which grows from the base of the stem, and from the single root, okay, a secondary root starts growing, and from the secondary roots thin fiber like structure starts arising from the secondary root. We call it as a tertiary root. So this type of arrangement we okay, yes, we call this type of arrangement in the plants, we call it as the taproot system. We call it as the taproot system. Yes, so here you can you have to remember is the single long root start arising from the base of the stem, and single it is called as the taproot system. Suppose in some plants what happens when the seed germinates, okay, several roots starts arising. Yes, the several roots starts arising from the base of the stem. We call this as the bunch of roots. We call it as the bunch of roots okay. Yes, so these are called as bunch of roots. Yes, bunch of roots starts arising from the base of the stem, and here we can observe the, here you can clearly observe here, see properly children, here the bunch of roots starts arising from the base of the stem. So this is the base of the stem. Here this is one root, and here this is one. Here you can observe the bunch of roots, 3 to 4 roots are arising. This is the bunch of the root. Here you can observe this point. Okay, so a bunch of roots starts arising from the base of the stem. So when we observe this bunch of roots arising from the base of the stem, we call this as the fibrous root system. We call it as fibrous root system. So I think everyone have understood. A bunch of roots starts arising from the base of the stem. That root is called as, that root system is called as fibrous root system. And single long root from the base of the stem, it is called as the taproot system. Here you can observe clearly a single long root starts arising from the base of the stem in this plant, and here in this plant you can observe the bunch of roots. When we take up the grass children, when you take up the grass, you can also observe in the grass a bunch of roots. Here you can observe clearly the bunch of roots start arising from the base of the stem. So this bunch of roots we call it as the fibrous root system. Now these roots are under the soil. The roots are under the soil. So when you see the plant above the soil, how will you come to know that whether this plant okay, or a tree, whether it is having a taproot or a fibrous root? How to identify? How to identify whether this plant it contains a taproot or fibrous root? There is a simple one thing you have to understand, that in 5th standard you have observed that when the seed germinates, the seed, it is having, what it is having, okay, it is as it is having 2 cotyledons. Yes, these are the 2 cotyledons. When you take up the bean seed, here I have drawn the bean seed children. When you take up the bean seed, when you open the seed, you will get the 2 cotyledons. For example, in the groundnut you can observe, in the green gram you can observe. You just observe in your home children. You can open you can open the 2 cotyledons so clearly, okay, when you take up the seed. Whereas when you take up the rice grain, okay, The rice grain, there you cannot open the two cotyledons. There are no two cotyledons. Only a single cotyledon is present in the rice grain, in the jowar, in the wheat. Okay. So all the cereals, ragi, you cannot open into two cotyledons. The two cotyledons are not present in these plants. So here what I am going to tell is that here the examples of taproot, if the seed of the plant, okay, if it contains two cotyledons, then it possesses the taproot system. Example, we can give the peas. You can also give the example beans. You can also give the example grams. Okay. So here these are some of the examples where the plants are having two cotyledons. Here you can also give the example the mustard. So on these all by seeing the seed you can identify whether this plant is having the taproot or the fibrous root. Now here you can observe in the fibrous root, here the plants are having only one single cotyledon, that is only one single cotyledon. For example, the maize, the wheat, the rice, and here you can also observe I have shown you the grass. The grass, it comes under the example the fibrous root system. Okay. So the grasses. So here, so I think you have understood from the seeing the seed. Okay, the seed, if it contains single cotyledon, it possesses the fibrous root system. If the seed, if it contains two cotyledons, it possesses a taproot system. So now till here we have studied about the classification of the root system. So in the next class we are going to learn about the modifications of the root. In the next class we are going to study, children, about the modifications of the root. So till here where I have completed up to classification of root system. So open your textbook and read the lesson, and okay, then you will come then it will be clear to you, children. Okay, okay, I'll meet you in the next class. Okay, children, thank you.